What's up? What's good? What's poppin'? What's cracking? Percolating? What's really good in the hood? It's your man Theo Butler, and yeah, this is the video that I promised I was gonna drop for Adonis Hardaway. He hit me up, inbox and everything like that. He said, "Theo, do a video for me. Talk about the prospects of Shorty. Talk about the prospects of M'Baku. Talk about the prospects of Killmonger as T'Challa's replacement for the Black Panther Mantle." So you know what I was like, you know what, man, I'm I can appreciate that, bro. Ask me a question and everything. I like doing it. I like doing it. I love doing it. So I said, well, how can I do this and give people what they really should take away from this? And I was like, you know what? Do it your way. You a writer? Come up with something. You a content creator, Theo. You got this. So what I figured I would do is I would give you some background history on the characters, the date of appearance in Marvel Comics, a little bit of background history on them in Marvel Comics in relationship to how they have portrayed on screen and what unique challenges each character uh, gives the writers, the directors, Marvel Studios, Kevin Feige, Ryan Coogler. And I figured I'd start this off from least complicated and go to most complicated. So the least complicated character in this would be M'Baku. Why so? Well, M'Baku made his appearance in 1969, but let's look at the character. Winston Duke. Winston Duke is 6'5". Look here. That's tall. That's taller than Chris Hemsworth, who plays Thor. That's tall. That's just the physical aspect of it. As I stated, M'Baku was created in 1969. Now, remember when M'Baku says in the movie, "Glory to Anunma." Yeah, that's the white gorilla god. They pray to a whole different god. Bashed is not the goddess, the god that they pray to. Come on now. Real world. If you want somebody to respect your religion, you got to respect somebody else's religion. M'Baku is not finna be the Black Panther. Honestly, you didn't get this on screen, and there's a reason why you didn't get it on screen, because of the day and age that we in. Oh my God, you talk about being canceled? He's the man ape. He never really got referred to that on screen. He's the man ape. This character came out in 1969. They're not gonna call him man ape on screen. He prays to glory to honor. He plays to honor, Hunan. That's the gorilla god. He's not gonna pray to Bash. She's not gonna put her power. She's not gonna bestow her powers on him. Hunan will, but it's not gonna do that. So that's the simplest one. God knows, you're looking at M'Baku doing a whole character arc. You're looking at him changing religions. Yeah, he would be rejecting his own religious faith and adopting the golden cult's faith, the Black Panther faith. Come on now. Come on, man. So that's the simplest one. Eric Killmonger, played by Michael B. Jordan. That character was established, created in 1973. 6 feet tall. We already discussed in a previous video that Chadwick Boseman himself is 6 feet tall. Remember that poignant line at the end of Black Panther, right before Killmonger, we think passed away. Bury me among my ancestors. That's a powerful line. Now, we never got to see him die on screen, and whenever you don't see a character die on screen, you need to know the possibility of bringing that character back. Yes, it exists. Heck yeah, it exists. But take into consideration that Michael B. Jordan also signed a contract with Warner Brothers. Those are the same people that's screwing up the DC universe right now. He signed a contract with them last year. He did. You don't think they have anything in there as far as like conflict of interest, competition clause? Because remember when Idris Elba was over here with Marvel? Which is kind of funny because Idris Elba said he won't do no superhero movies. But, I mean, they got him playing Heimdall. No really significant roles in anything like that. And he got to be on point. He got to be available when they film those movies. It's part of the problem. You didn't see him over there at DC. You think because there weren't no roles available over there? No. It's like somebody working at McDonald's and Burger King at the same time. Good luck with that one. But anyway, Killmonger's story arc in the comics, actually, him being Black Panther would be a whole lot easier if Marvel Studios, Kevin Feige, Ryan Coogler didn't mess with this man's backstory. They mess with this man's backstory like they do a lot of their heroes and villains. This one, though, it paints you in a box. Eric's parents were killed by someone who was stealing vibranium from Wakanda. They were aided by a traitor, but Eric's parents weren't the traitor. This ain't what we got in Black Panther. His parents were killed. This would make all the sense in the world for him to want to have some issues with Wakanda, because Wakanda don't necessarily come get him. Definitely give him a reason to want to kill Claw. But that's not how they told the story. And that matters, because how much action did we get in Black Panther as opposed to them having to tell us the story? The story plays a part. The story arc plays a part. That's real. I'm not saying it's not possible. This just take time. Hell, the Winter Soldier. That's a story arc. You see how long we got from Bucky to be who he was to who he is now? How many movies Bucky was in? How many movies was Sebastian Stan in? For him to get from where he was then in Captain America. Was that Captain America? Captain America the Winter Soldier. Good God Almighty. That story arc from Captain America Winter Soldier to get him to Falcon in the Winter Soldier. That was a story arc. Come on. Don't think it's a game. But yeah. Name Ndajaka. And he actually played in the storyline. They say he prays to the fallen sister of Bass, which is K''Lilana. Kililana. I'm gonna say that. But he's been Black Panther once. He has. Now watch this one. Eric Killmonger actually interacted with Casper Cole. Yep. When Casper Cole was in New York wearing the Black Panther mantle, Eric Killmonger went to New York, got him, and said, listen, I need you to take that off. I'm going to give you some Panther abilities, because when Casper Cole wears the Black Panther costume, he has no abilities except for what that costume give him. That's it. Eric Killmonger go holler at him. He give him a variation of the heart-shaped herb. And I forgot to say, Eric Killmonger, in the movie, y'all saw him take the heart-shaped herb. He's not related to T'Challa in the comics. He ain't. He's not related to T'Challa at all in the comics. Excuse me, notification. He's not related to T'Challa in the comics. And that plays a role. You know why? Because only members of the royal family can take the heart-shaped herb and not die. Yeah, he found that out the hard way. Took the heart-shaped herb, his body was about to, he was about to take a long dirt nap. You know who saved him? T'Challa. See how this go? T'Challa. Eric Killmonger fought him. He won. He took the heart-shaped herb. Wasn't for him. He's not a member of the royal family. T'Challa saves him. Okay. Eric Killmonger comes up with the synthetic form. Synthetic form. Good God Almighty. Tongue-tied. He comes up with a synthetic version of the heart-shaped herb. Gets his powers. Yep, sure did. Went to New York. Gave Casper Cole a buffered down version of it. I don't know what that means, but buffered, I guess that's a little watered down version of what he already took. But yeah, that's how Casper Cole. He told him, you got to take off this Black Panther costume, and you got to go through the white tiger coat, which is part of the Panther. Yeah, you got to do that. So that's what he had to do. Been White Tiger for the longest time too. Till T'Challa just went and hollered at him not too long ago and said, hey, I need you to help me on this case with the Vanisher. Casper Cole helps him with the case with the Vanisher. T'Challa brings him back to Wakanda and says, listen, you done did everything I need you to do. Now it's time to take you to a whole nother level. You no longer the White Tiger. They never came up with a name for him. I still call him the White Tiger. Marvel, do something about that. Ta-Nehisi Coates, Something. I need a name. Cold Tiger. And there's history to that. Cold Tiger. That was going to be the name of T'Challa as the Black Panther because too many people back in the 60s were drawing too many comparisons between him and the Black Panther Party. Marvel was getting ready to change this dude's whole name and change it for a time frame. From Black Panther to Cold Tiger, Stan Lee was like, I'm not gonna do that, change that back to Black Panther. Yeah. So, we know Eric Killmonger had to take a version of the heart shape, a synthetic version of the heart-shaped herb. If they'd have did his story, his origin, the way it was done in the comics, it would make sense. Michael B. Jordan don't have his contract with Warner Brothers, definitely bring him back. You want to recast him? Cool, recast him. You still got to do this story arc thing. Movies are 2 hours long. For those people that don't write, 1 page is 1 minute. One page is 1 minute. That ain't got nothing to do with what's on that page, whether you giving direction for the actors to do, whether you talking about somebody talking off camera, or whether you talking about people in front of the camera conversing with one another, or whether the people in the camera ain't doing nothing but just moving. 1 page is 1 minute. Yeah, think it's a game. So, let's look at the next character. Shooty. Letitia Wright. Letitia Wright is 5'6". Did not know my sister was that tall. Yes, because that's not short for a female. 5'6". Yeah. Here's what we're looking at, though. Shooty was created in 2005. Casper Cole, as I stated in a previous video, was created in 2002. Now, we need to know, before Shooty has worn the Black Panther mantle, at least 2 other people have been the Black Panther. Eric Killmonger and David Cole, i.e. Casper Cole. They call him Casper Cole because his father's Jewish, his mother's a sister. He's biracial. Who else is biracial? Oh, Regé-Jean Page. Guess who actually has an African dialect? Because his mother's Boswanian. Regé-Jean Page. Oh my goodness gracious. Look at that. But this part ain't about Regé-Jean Page. It's about Letitia Wright and Shooty. So, Shooty, once again, was created in 2005. Now, the way they wrote Shooty in the comics is completely different from her portrayal on the screen. The way Reginald Hudlin and them created Shooty, Shooty wanted to be the Black Panther. She's always wanted to be the Black Panther. She was even going to challenge her uncle, Cyan, for the Black Panther mantle, except T'Challa had already beat him. Now, what did Shooty say when T'Challa, that day, they were out there by the water, supposed to be challenging everything like that? She raised her hand. Now, mind you, in her raising her hand, those of us that know T'Challa's history, we knew what that Easter egg was. That was them paying off the fact that in the comics, she has challenged for this title. She wants all the smoke. But what did you get from this Shooty? If I'm not mistaken, she said, can we please hurry this up? This was why M'Baku insulted her, because she has no respect for history. She had no respect for culture. That's why M'Baku was pissed at her. Yeah. This ain't the Shooty from the comics. The Shooty from the comics, she done went toe-to-toe with Eric Killmonger. Yeah, the Shooty in the comics, she ain't had no blasters. She ain't had no blasters. She challenged Eric Killmonger to a fight. He was like, nah. You know what? You ain't T'Challa. I ain't finna do this. You beneath me. Beat up by 10 of his homeboys. And then he had to come correct. Yeah, that Shooty is all that in the bag of chips. And then some. But let's keep going. Because there are way more, there are a bunch more differences between the Shooty that we got on the big screen and the Shooty that we got in the comic books. Watch this. We get this particular Shooty on the big screen. You probably really ain't hearing nothing from me other than, well, I ain't saying she can't be T'Challa, but I need T'Challa to come back. Well, let me rephrase that. I'm not saying she can't be Black Panther. I'm like, that's, I just need T'Challa back. So y'all know how I feel. I said it's another video. But yeah, She's sister of T'Chaka, but she's not his biological. Well, she's his half sister. Theo, what do you mean by that? That's Ramunda is her mother. Ramunda is not T'Challa's mother. T'Challa's mother is dead. Ramunda is Shuri's mother. Yeah, sure is. And Shuri has actually taken on two different aliases: Black Panther and Griot. Now, those of us that rock with Black Panther for real and take it for whatever you want to, Shuri is currently the Griot. I like that so much. I have Shuri as Letitia Wright. I have Shuri in her Black Panther form. I'm going to customize and create my own Shuri in the Griot form. Yeah, let's think about how this goes, because this is poignant, because I want to make sure I tell the story right. So what winds up happening, because like, y'all really don't know how Shuri becomes Black Panther. So Namor invites T'Challa to join the Cabal. If you watch the Avengers cartoon on Disney Plus, you got a pretty good idea what this is. T'Challa rejects the idea. So Namor sells T'Challa out. T'Challa is mortally wounded. He's in a coma. During the time frame that he's in a coma, Doom thinks it's a good idea to attack Wakanda. It's not. It's not. It's not. Because during the time frame that all this is taking place, while T'Challa was incapacitated, Aurora, who's T'Challa's wife, has said, you know what? We need a new Black Panther. Shuri, that's you. Shuri takes the heart-shaped herb, but Bass rejects her. Bass rejects her based on my previous statement. Shuri has always wanted the Black Panther title. She's always coveted the mantle. As far as Bass was concerned, this was Shuri being jealous of her brother. Yeah. So she didn't bestow the heart-shaped herbs, the powers of the Black Panther upon her initially. Shuri, for the most part, was doing exactly what Casper Cole was doing. Relying on gadgets, relying on weaponry. Shuri, we all know Shuri has a genius IQ, but you know what we did not get from Ryan Coogler, Kevin Feige, and Marvel Studios, that T'Challa also has a genius level IQ. You'd have swore T'Challa was just a dude that was going to throw hands. He was smart a little bit, but he wasn't smart as Tony Stark. Let me go ahead and let y'all in on something. Not only is T'Challa as smart as Tony Stark, T'Challa's sister smarter. But notice what I just said. T'Challa is just as smart. He's not dumber than Tony Stark. He's just as smart as Tony Stark. Shuri is smarter than Tony Stark. You don't get any of this in the MCU. But in Marvel Comics, yeah, you do. Yeah, you get all that. So then what winds up happening while he's in the coma, Shuri takes on the Black Panther Mantle. She's got to protect Wakanda. In protecting Wakanda, Bass bestows the powers of the Black Panther amongst her, on her. But during this time frame, T'Challa, he good again and everything like that. It's the Avengers versus the X-Men storyline. It's the Phoenix Force. Namor takes this time. Well, no, yeah. Shuri tell him you got to come back home and everything like that. But Namor takes this time to flood Wakanda. Shuri ain't having that. This is one of the time frames when T'Challa was off in America doing some Avengers stuff, doing some Fantastic Four stuff with his wife. Shuri took a couple of her boys, and when I say her boys, because we ain't get this in the Black Panther movie, she takes the Ias-Ijs. Now, if you don't know who the Ias-Ijs is, they look just like Casper Cole with that White Panther costume on. I said White Panther costume because it looked just like the Black Panther costume, except it's white. But they call them boys the Ias-Ijs, and trust me, you don't see them coming. At all. And after Namor flooded Atlantis, Shuri took the secret police to Atlantis and she massacred them. Did you get from the MCU Shuri that she was capable of that type of violence? We know what T'Challa was gonna do to Claw in that little, that little area, that public area where everybody had a cell phone. We knew what he was about to do. We knew what he was about to do. She didn't even turn her blasters on Kill when she had Killmonger down on his knees. The Shuri in the comic books, she'd have killed Killmonger and wouldn't have thought twice about it. That's how lethal that sister is. Now, that said, she gets injured. Her brother saves her. She comes back as a griot. I'm loving her story arc because she went in the comics from being someone who wanted everything her brother had to being someone who got more. Yes, anamorphism, super speed, stone skin, necromancy. T'Challa doesn't have stone skin. T'Challa can't turn into ravens. He cannot transform his body. T'Challa, he can't do that. Sure he can. This ain't who we got in the MCU. We got Letitia Wright. We got the bratty, nerdy, cracking sideways jokes little sister. Stereotypical little sister. Not black, but stereotypical sibling. They crack jokes, they nerdy, they talk trash and everything like that. That's what we got. So am I of the mindset? And mind you, look at this. This is everything that I just gave you. Like I said, I started from the easiest one to the most complicated. Can Letitia Wright, can Shuri in Black Panther be written in to assume the Black Panther mantle herself? Yes, she can. You can't do this in Black Panther 2. And it's their fault. It's their fault. This is what happens when you tamper with stuff. When you really don't appreciate the characters for what they are, you just want to take them in a specific direction, you wind up writing yourself in a box. Even if Chadwick Boseman was still alive, Letitia Wright would have to be trained in Black Panther 2 to be able to take up the mantle at the end of the movie, in credit scene, for us to be looking forward to her being Black Panther in Black Panther 3. Think it's a game. We did the same thing with Hope Van Dyne. We didn't do that in Ant-Man. Watch this. We did the same thing in the first Iron Man movie. Didn't we? We didn't? Yeah. Told the story. Let the character do some stuff. Let the character interact with the hero. Then what we do? James Rhodes, Terrence Howard. He's in the military. We know what he's working with. And he's a fighter pilot. Made all the sense in the world. See that transition? That's how that worked. Eric Killmonger. You don't kill him off. He don't sign this contract. Marvel, I don't know why y'all didn't lock this dude in. Michael B. Jordan is a phenomenal actor. Ryan Coogler, y'all could have told this same story. Then at the end of the Black Panther movie, showed him in cryogenesis. Hell, if they can really rehabilitate, if you can rehabilitate James Buchanan, you can't talk some sense into T'Challa. Would have made all the sense in the world, man. And I know this probably, y'all can feel how you want to feel. It's as a writer, I've done that. You got to leave options on the table for your heroes, antagonists, main antagonists, whatever. I know this is not even a plug. I got a book on Amazon Barnes and Noble, called Executive Decision. It's a story along the same lines of Zane and Carl Weber. And you know how they write their stories, right? I like to say I learned from the best. Last 3 pages of my story, I switched from third person to first person. I never tell you who the character married. You know why? I didn't want to write myself in a hole. I wanted to leave options on the table. So if I wanted to come back and explore characters from the first book, I always could. Regé-Jean Page is the right casting. I don't want to hear that. I know. But this is what happens when you don't do certain things. I like John David Washington as an actor. I love him. But Florence Kasumba is 5'8". See, when we put Robert Downey Jr. in the Iron Man armor, you can't really tell who tall. Him, Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth. Of course, Chris Hemsworth is always supposed to look taller, but you don't know who's the tallest. Remember that scene between him, Captain America, and the Winter Soldier? They all look the same height, didn't they? But there are certain scenes when you see Robert Downey Jr. and you see him talking to Chris Evans where he's actually looking up at Chris Evans. They can only do so much with camera angles. They gonna bring in John David Washington, who's a full 4 inches shorter than 6 feet. He's gonna be standing on stuff. Come on now. Come on. Come on. Then they're gonna have them side by them screenshots with him and Florence Kasumba. Is she 5'8"? They're gonna be looking eye to eye. What, you gonna put him up on something, have him looking down? It's only so much. It's only so many tricks. And those who edit, those who know about filming and videography and everything like that, y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. It's only so many ways you can do this. That takes nothing away from John David Washington as an accomplished actor, as an incredible actor who stands on his own without even mentioning who his father is. This dude is nice with it. Yes. Not the right casting. Regé-Jean Page is 5'11". If you think height don't make a difference, Sebastian Stan is 6 feet. Anthony Mackie is 5'10". And when you watching the show, you know there's a difference. Anthony Mackie is thicker than Sebastian Stan. You see it. That matters. That matters. So when we're looking at it, Regé-Jean Page, right casting. I'm hoping they're casting him as Casper Cole. No, I don't want him to play the role of T'Challa. I don't. See how I just did that? I don't. Has nothing to do with he can't play it or anything like that. No, the T'Challa that I grew up with, bald-headed one time, dark-skinned brother, you know what I'm saying? Africa, yeah, all that. I like Regé-Jean Page for Casper Cole. Who else we getting to play the biracial brother? Barack Obama? I know that was super petty. But no, it's good, man. It's good. It's good. Just bring back T'Challa. That's an important role. And if you listen to the whole video that I just gave you, you see how many times I mentioned T'Challa? He plays a role. He's just as important as Captain America. He's just as important as Steve Rogers. He's just as important as Tony Stark. He's just as important as the Odin son. You don't do that, man. You just don't. So Regé-Jean Page, Regé-Jean Page is the right casting. I see a lot of y'all have mentioned certain characters, certain people that y'all like to see play T'Challa. I'm on board with all of them as long as they 6 feet tall. I'm on board with all of them. And the reason why I say I'm on board with Aldis Hodge, I've seen some of y'all mention Aldis Hodge and everything like that. I like him. He's scheduled to play Hawkman in the Black Adam movie. There goes that competition clause that I was talking about. So there goes that one. So we got to go find somebody else. But there's somebody else out there that can play the role. There's somebody else out there that can play the role. Honestly, Me for mine, I knew Marvel had this movie scheduled. I would have pushed this movie back. I would have pushed this movie back, and I would have found me another T'Challa. I would have pushed this movie back because some things you don't need to do when you're still in your feelings. And after a death like Chadwick Boseman, you're supposed to be in your feelings. If he's as good as they said he was as a person, not as an actor, as good as they said he was as a person, his loss is supposed to hurt. You know what you're supposed to do? You're supposed to take a step back. Theo, who are you to say this? Mom, granddad, best friend, grandma, aunt. I know how to maintain a healthy distance emotionally. I done seen it too many times. I done been through it too many times. When you're in mourning, that's really not the time to move. Marvel and everybody should have chilled out. This movie should not be done. Matter of fact, Ryan Coogler, don't do this movie right now. Recast T'Challa. Do what you gotta do. Get a talent hunt and everything together. Find who you can get. It's credible actors out there. Good God Almighty. Who knew who Chadwick Boseman was 15 years ago? And he been wanting to do T'Challa for how long? It's other accomplished actors out there. Killmonger has been Black Panther. There's precedent for that. Shuri has been Black Panther. There's precedent for that. Casper Cole has been Black Panther. There's precedent for that. Uncle Sion has been Black Panther. There's precedent for that. T'Chaka has been Black Panther. There's precedent for that. M'Baku has never been Black Panther. And asking somebody to convert their religion, that's one of the most disrespectful things in the world to do. Ain't that been done enough? So, being asked how I feel, this is how I feel. If we're going to tell the story right. Fans of T'Challa, Black Panther, deserve that. We deserve for you to put as much work and effort into telling his story as you put into telling Tony Stark's story, telling Steve Rogers' story, and telling Thor's story. And now you're getting ready to tell Loki's story on Disney Plus. You're already telling us Sam Wilson and James Buchanan's story. You already told us Wanda Maximoff's story. You told us the Vision story. You didn't tell us T'Challa's story. You didn't. You even given us some background information into Clint Barton because we didn't even know who Clint Barton was. We know he's married. We didn't know you were using that version, but that's the version that you're using. We know he's getting ready to train his daughter on to take up the Hawkeye mantle. I know that you're also getting ready to introduce the character Ronan, the female version. Yeah. So you're telling in Natasha Romanoff, you're telling the whole story of Natasha Romanoff and Black Widow. And you actually gave me more background information on Natasha in all the movies that she was in than you giving me with T'Challa in the one movie that he soloed in. That's not my opinion. That's fact. You giving me 2 Peter Parker movies. You giving me a whole bunch of information on Peter Parker. Information that I was already privy to. It's not just about Black Panther. It's about the story of T'Challa. And I'm going to say this to you, Michael Neely, because you really pissed me off when you said that. May T'Challa rest with his ancestors? Bruh, you spit in my face when you said that. I was disgusted when you made that comment. That was so casual, so reckless for you to say that on national television. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care, bro. I don't care. That statement, that made T'Challa rest with the ancestor, you were so dismissive, bro. It told me you don't care about the character. You don't know. Bro, you an educated black man. When you're not educated on something, shut up. Till you educate yourself on something. If you're not going to bother to educate yourself on it, shut up. It's not just a comic to some of us. It's not just a fictional character to some of us. T'Challa means something to us, just like some things in life mean something to you that we don't give a damn about. I would never speak on. Don't ever do that again. May he rest with the ancestors. Stay on point, bro. Stay on topic. Talk about what you know about on this particular subject. As I said in the previous video, you either stupid or you ignorant. Either way, you have no business speaking on the king of Wakanda. I ain't saying, I'm just saying. Peace.